We're bringing a very, very small scale operation of our e-commerce platform to the U.S., where we're just planning to sell some simple products to start with, some accessories, just products that we can easily bring to the market because they don't require certification, they don't require a ton of localization or extensive testing, just because we don't have that many resources. But at the same time, we want to get into the feedback loop with consumers here in the U.S. So to us, it's really, really important. Plus, it's the first step of beginning to build our brand, becoming better known amongst the young consumers here in the U.S.
I guess I wonder why, though. I mean, you guys look for markets to expand with low smartphone penetration, with carriers that will allow you to go and sell via your own website. Is the U.S. market over the long term appealing to Xiaomi?
Well, we're a little company, right? So we want to be in every market eventually, when we're sort of grown up and have scaled up enough to get there. And of course, the U.S. is a trend-setting market. So, for example, we have a new audiophile-grade headphone product, which is a beautifully designed, incredibly high quality, like stereo hi-fi headphones. We would love to get feedback on that product from consumers here in the West. It would help us make it better for the entire world, right? And we would love for people who are here in the West, who are audiophiles, to read about it, for example, right? And that will get people in India, for example, more interested in this product. The U.S. is a really, really important market in so many different ways.
So you're in 7 markets now outside of mainland China, but you've been talking about some other markets like Brazil and Mexico. What are the challenges? I imagine you live and breathe this stuff every day as the international guy at Xiaomi. What are the challenges for turning on Xiaomi services in a country like Brazil or in Mexico?
Yeah. The challenges are things I honestly couldn't have thought of sort of before, even just a few months ago. And it varies a lot from one country to the other, right? In India, for instance, because it's such a huge country with so many tier 3, tier 4 cities, logistics is a huge challenge, right? So sort of understanding the logistics ecosystem took us a huge amount of time, right? But we're making a lot of progress. In Brazil, it's manufacturing, right? In Brazil, you have to manufacture locally to be able to sell products, consumer electronics, because otherwise the taxes are too high. In Brazil also, we expect that the way in which we communicate with our fans is going to be different. It's going to be much more, sort of humor-focused, probably very inappropriate, because it's just a different sort of psyche, a different sense of humor. So we're going to adapt and learn everywhere we go, but surely there are new challenges everywhere.
So what new markets are happening for Xiaomi in 2015 with the full suite of products?
So we're in 8 markets already, mostly Southeast Asia and Greater China plus India. We're launching Brazil sometime later this semester is our plan. And then after that, we're still kind of thinking about, we have our eyes on a bunch of different markets which we'd like to enter. We are thinking about Mexico, we're thinking about Thailand, Vietnam, maybe Russia. But it's still sort of in the evaluation stage. We don't have any actual people in these countries yet.
So Xiaomi is on this tremendous growth clip, and of course what a lot of people hear about is the fundraising rounds and the valuation. You guys were valued at $45 billion last year in an investment round. What's next for the kind of capital story of Xiaomi in terms of fundraising or an IPO? Do you need to do any more?
Yeah, so I'm not the money guy, and I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about the finance side of the house. But I mean, what I can say, and we truly do mean this, is that we don't have any plans to go public in the near future. It's great to be a private company. You can move really fast. You can change directions quickly without necessarily having to worry about all of the various implications of doing that. So it's really, really good to be a private company, and we think we can continue to move fast the way we are. We've raised quite a bit of capital, which gives us a tremendous amount of investment runway. We can obviously invest in a lot of startups, which we've been doing for some time. We can help our partners expand manufacturing. I mean, there's so much that we can do with that capital. So we were good for a few years.
So you came to Xiaomi from Google, where you worked on Android. There have been some questions in the world of mobile around Google's stewardship of Android, and basically kind of a criticism that it is now too closed, that it bundles Google services together with Android and places constraints on carriers. Do you agree with those criticisms, and how is Xiaomi working with Google to the extent that you can, considering that Google is limited in China?
So I think the most important thing to think about when it comes to Android, and of course the role of Google, is that it's an ecosystem. So we're an Android ecosystem player like everybody else. right? We are committed to compatibility. We're committed to not forking Android, to operating with Android as is and building sort of our value on top of it, but keeping it as an integral unit.
Apple seems to have had such tremendous success with the iPhone 6, breaking all their old records. Does the increase in Apple's visibility and success in China pose a competitive challenge for Xiaomi, or are the customer sets different because the price points are different?
So Apple is a phenomenal competitor. You know, they're one of the world's most impressive companies, certainly in our industry. You know, the quality of their products is extraordinary, but they are, you know, really at a really premium price tier, and that's what they're good at.
So let me ask you this question. Over the years, I've heard Xiaomi described as a clone. In particular, some Apple executives talk about Xiaomi as a clone. You just spent an hour here talking to the U.S. press about all the differences in MIUI. Do you feel like you've dispelled that criticism of Xiaomi's products?
So I think what we're doing here today is important because we're giving people their first sort of hands-on experience with our products on the hardware side and, of course, on the software side. And I think it's a matter of time and it's a matter of having interactions like what we did here today for people to really begin to understand how unique we are, right? How original our design is and how significant our aspirations of being a center of innovation are, right? And I think that was very clear here today, right? We brought a team of our best designers even to help us craft our presentation to make sure that what we were delivering was at the level of quality that they themselves expect.